In 2004, a group of college students led by Adrian Hong and Paul Kim learned about the plight of North Korean refugees. They realized it wasn't an issue anyone was paying attention to and felt compelled to take action. They shared stories, sold t-shirts, raised awareness, and that's how Liberty in North Korea was born. With a grungy logo and grassroots momentum, students across the country began joining the movement. Benefit concerts led to student summits, and protests led to advocacy trips to Washington, D.C. In October that year, the 2004 North Korean Human Rights Act was signed into law by President George W. Bush, making it possible for North Korean refugees to resettle in the United States. This was a historic moment. In 2008, I stepped into the role of CEO and merged Link with another organization, led by Link's future vice president, Justin Wheeler. He was dynamic, passionate, and had exactly the right experience we needed to mobilize an international movement for change. We moved our office to Southern California and realized if we wanted to grow this movement, we needed to start by changing the narrative. So we set out to redefine North Korea by its people rather than its politics. In 2009, we launched Link's tour program and sent out nomads, our trained interns, across the US and Canada to share the stories of North Korean people. Over 6 years and 16 national tours, our nomads traveled to almost every US state, nearly every province in Canada, hosting over 4,500 events at colleges, high schools, churches, community centers, synagogues, and even Paul Mitchell hair salons, showing documentaries and giving presentations, selling t-shirts and collecting spare change, and growing this movement. We knew perceptions of North Korea were also created and perpetuated by the media and by governments. So we worked with international journalists, filmmakers, diplomats, and policymakers to provide a broader perspective and a new framework for how to approach the issue. We also created our own documentaries and videos. But we didn't want to be all talk and no action. The most urgent and direct thing we could do to help North Koreans was to help them escape from China. And we knew if we could figure out a way to do it, our supporters would find a way to fund it. So we got to work finding the right partners, developing our own networks in the modern-day Underground Railroad, and creating a safer option for North Korean refugees and their children to reach freedom without any cost, condition, or risk of exploitation. And every rescue was funded by our extraordinary movement of supporters from around the world. By 2010, over 150 Link chapters around the world were changing the narrative in their local communities and selling everything from fried Oreos to boba tea to raise funds to rescue North Korean refugees. But helping people reach freedom was just the first step. We expanded our programs to provide critical resettlement support and to empower North Korean refugees by building their capacity and confidence through our leadership, advocacy, and English language programs, through scholarships and opportunities for study abroad and career development, entrepreneurship training, and grants to make an impact on this issue. We didn't always get it right. We tried and sometimes failed, but we always learned directly from our North Korean partners and friends so that we could do better. By 2012, we were operating in Southeast Asia and had opened an office in Seoul. And while our global movement was growing, we struggled to gain momentum in South Korea. So we worked with South Korean and North Korean students to find common ground and to dream of what the future could look like together. As we learned about how North Korean society was changing, we knew one of the most direct ways we could promote change inside the country was to help increase how much access North Korean people had to outside information and technology. So we launched Link Labs to curate and create content and to develop tools and technology for people inside North Korea. In 2018, we had our biggest year of rescues, helping more than 300 people escape. Then COVID-19 happened. and the situation inside North Korea became significantly worse for the North Korean people. The pandemic severely impacted our work on the ground as it became impossible to escape the country. With border closures and increased surveillance, the flow of North Korean refugees reaching freedom and arriving in South Korea dropped by 78% in 2020. The last few years have been difficult, but the North Korean people never gave up, and neither did we. Because we are committed to working toward the day when every North Korean man, woman, and child is free. Over the last 20 years, we have rescued and resettled more than 1,300 North Korean refugees and their children. Over 50% of the women we have helped have escaped from forced marriages or being trafficked. And over 500 families have been reunited. We have trained, cultivated, and supported over 900 North Korean leaders, advocates, and agents of change. We've changed the narrative on North Korea, reaching millions of people online and in person. We've been cited, quoted, and featured in international media over 1,000 times, and have helped create new language, new frameworks, and a new way of approaching this issue. With our North Korean friends, we've traveled around the world to share their stories, from Google, Starbucks, and Salesforce to the TED stage, the White House, and the UN, meeting everyone from presidents to Post Malone. And to be fair, that one wasn't planned. As I reflect on the past 20 years, I'm filled with immense gratitude for this incredible movement and the impact we have made together. None of this could have been done without your unwavering support and generosity. There's so much more to do, and we're counting on you to continue standing with us until the North Korean people achieve their freedom, because it will be in our lifetime.